is up, guys? I am back with another Teen Mom recap. I do apologize for being a little bit late this week. I had horrible food poisoning. I had traveled, I ate pasta out of a vending machine, and that was a very poor decision because very shortly after that, I started uncontrollably vomiting and had food poisoning for over 5 days. So, lesson learned, we don't eat pasta from vending machines. And then it just happened that a few days later I was scheduled to have some surgery done. So I'm just not looking too hot right now. So we're going to do an audio only video, if that's okay with you guys, just for this week and possibly next week. And then you will get to see my face again on camera. But anyway, I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter. If that's something you want to watch, go ahead and subscribe. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. We go back to the failing intervention. This is a setup. No, this is not a setup. Where are you going? I don't want to do this. You guys are disrespectful. Christy, Grandma was in the hospital and you didn't even show up. Something clearly is wrong. And what is disrespectful? Nobody got to say 2 words to you. People want to pry into my emotional shit. Why does this have to be a spectacle? Because I need a storyline, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't say that. You know what? Take your ass home then. Don't talk to me like that. Okay. So you're mad when they tell you to stay. And then you're also mad when they tell you to leave. Like, I don't think Christy would be happy unless they straight up just handed her baggies of meth. Mackenzie's best friend flies into town. Max says, my best friend's here to watch me get knocked up. She never missed a baby coming out of me, so she won't miss the baby going in either. Which, like, ugh, that sounds so weird. Is Mackenzie's bestie just sitting in the cuck chair? I know it's IVF, but still, very weird. We chose to transfer 2 embryos. There's an 80% chance that one sticks, but there's a 20% chance that both of them stick. And then we have twins, and there's even a 2% chance of having 4 babies if both of them split. We're not really prepared for that. Next is Ashley. Holly wants to see her dad, and she's even willing to visit him in jail. Ashley says it's difficult because it's traumatic for her to see him there, but also traumatic to not see him at all. But I think I'm going to let her do it. It'll clear up things in her mind. The idea of him being in jail is one thing, but seeing it is another. I think we'll do video visits first, because that's less intense. After 7 months of fruitless fucking with Zach, Cheyenne still has yet to conceive a child, and now she's concerned. They decide to go back to the fertility doctor. If you remember, they went to this lady last time, where they learned the groundbreaking news that you have to stop taking birth control pills to get pregnant. Hopefully they actually took that advice this time and are there for like a more reasonable reason. They'll also be testing Zach's sperm, so Cheyenne jokes that she'll take some sexy pics for him to whack it to. When they arrive, the doctor asks if Cheyenne gets regular periods. For the first 2 months off of birth control, no, but now I do. Well, you still might not be ovulating, or you might be ovulating differently. We're going to do an ultrasound to take a look at your eggs. It's been 2 months since Devoin came to visit Nova and Stella. Since then, he'll text and FaceTime here and there, but it's not consistent. To the surprise of, well, not me. Like, there seems to be a lot of Devoin fans who feel differently, which I don't really get. Like, did we really think that him moving away was going to make him more consistent? Because if anything, it's just going to make stuff worse. Nova's been going to therapy, and she loves it. The therapist said that she wants to speak with me about some concerns, and I'm really worried about that. I don't know if it's normal. Mackenzie gets in the room ready to be sperminated, or embryated, I guess. She tells Kess, you look more nervous than me. I'm worried about the pain. And then this fuck-ass doctor has the nerve to say, this shouldn't be painful. It's just a pap smear kind of pain. Bitch, like a pap smear hurts like hell. At least for me. Like, I know everyone's different, but like, I cannot stand when doctors like discount pain like that. You can't predict what someone might find painful, especially when you're shoving things in their vagina. And it was a man doctor too, so like extra fuck off. Ashley gets an email saying that her and Bar are allowed to communicate. She says, it's a relief for me. She pulls Holly over, and first she says, well, Holly, I'm glad you brought that computer science grade up. Which I did not know they could do computer science classes for 7-year-olds, but that's pretty cool. Then she says, remember Daddy? I did it. I signed up for video visits so you can see him now. Holly says, thank you, Mommy. I'm also very grateful that you did that, or I wouldn't be able to see him. Which I thought was really sweet. Brianna vents with her mom about Nova's therapy. When I had Nova, I didn't think about any of this. I was so naive. I thought it was a simple, like, feed the baby, keep her alive type of thing. Does Devoin know that she's in therapy? No, he don't ask, and I don't bring it up. I don't know if she even wants him to know. Roxanne says, he should know. Well, Nova said, I don't want to talk about my dad. She's learning those boundaries. Guess he knows now, given that it aired on TV. Jade's grandma is feeling better, and they all go out to eat. She asks, how did the intervention go? Welp. Kim said, I love you very much, and before the sentence was even over, Mom jumped up and said, I don't want no help. My peace of mind is important. I don't want to bother with the situation no more. Maybe as we get older, we'll get better as adults. Like, I wish I could just hug her and say that I love you, but we just don't have that kind of relationship. I've done my fair share with her. I can only control me. Which is probably the best decision at this point for Jade. Like, I applaud her for that, because she has supported and enabled her mom for a very long time, and at some point, you just have to let her be. Like, when it comes to addicts, they're not going to stop until they're ready themselves. Next scene is Cheyenne, and for some ungodly reason, MTV decides to film directly outside the door where Zach is providing his sperm sample, and we literally hear Zach saying, whoa, holy shit, oh my god. MTV, bro, was this really necessary? Like, you won't film Ashley's new man, you won't film Josh, you won't film anything that we actually want to see, but you'll film this? I'm almost surprised they weren't in the room with him. And my god, like, can you imagine running a fertility clinic and not soundproofing the whack-off room? Choices were made here, and they were not good ones. Afterwards, they do an ultrasound on Shy, which is perfectly normal. The doctor says you have a lot of eggs, actually. Zach admits that he missed the cup when he was busting his nut, but the doctor was still able to analyze the sperm. She says, you have a lot of sperm, but they weren't swimming. And somebody in the MTV editing room was having too much fun here. They added a buzzer noise sound effect.
So that's good, but they weren't swimming.
When they said that Zach's sperm weren't swimming. Well, why are they not swimming? It could be a few reasons. If you smoke a lot of marijuana, that's toxic for sperm. So I suggest not smoking for 3 months. And if that still doesn't fix the problem, then we can look at IVF. Well, Zach, you smoked this morning before we came in. That's probably it. Can you, like, not do that for a few weeks? And he says, I don't have a problem not smoking. I just don't want to not smoke. But yes, I'll stop. And this is pretty funny to me because Cheyenne and Zach don't really talk about it a lot on the show. But if you follow them on social media, it's kind of obvious that they're pretty big stoners. They even had, like, a joint rolling table at one of their recent parties. And they're from California, so it checks out. And it's also just interesting to me how it affects everybody differently because I'm pretty sure that a good portion of the dads on this show are secretly stoners, but not a lot of fertility issues among these men. Although Tyler Baltiera's boy sperm seem to have all died off. Brianna calls Brittany. So I talked to the therapist. She said that Nova wants me to spend time with her dad's side of the family. She also told her that her dad shouldn't have left Florida and shouldn't have moved at all. I've told him this stuff before, but he's so nonchalant and just brushes it off, like, oh, Nova can deal with it. I did it, so she can do it. Which, like, I really hope they didn't actually say that. It's making Nova resentful. I notice she doesn't call or text him back, just like I suspected would happen. Brittany says, I worry he'll be like our dad and just never come back. Which, I don't think that would happen, but I do think Devoin is just, like, extraordinarily lazy. Like, even if Nova's not responding, you still have to reach out. You still have to keep trying. Like, it's not like Kay and Tyler, where they kept reaching out after they were asked to stop. Nova never asked Devoin to stop, and it seems like, if anything, she wants to see more from him. Mackenzie and Casanio get a picture of their embryos, which I thought was pretty cool. She says, that one looks like a soccer player, and he says that one looks like a cheerleader. So, the procedure took less than a minute, and we'll find out in 2 weeks if the embryos took. Which, according to social media, it seems like they did. Mackenzie's been dropping hints that she's pregnant, but we shall see for confirmation. Ashley hands off the phone to let Holly talk to Bar. And MTV does not film the conversation, but Holly gets to do her visit with Bar. Afterwards, Holly says, when I stop talking to him, it makes me want to talk to him more. Should I schedule another call for you? Yeah. The DA said that I can get 2 calls with Bar for a week, so I'm going to let you do that. Let's send him some pictures. And they draw some pictures for Bar together. And that is all for this episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. What do we think of Devoin not really reaching out to Nova or doing it sporadically? Do we think Brianna's telling the truth about that? Also, I did want to ask you guys another question. So I feel like my episodes have been getting a little shorter because these Teen Mom Next Chapter episodes are not very, how do I put this, content heavy. And in the meantime, there's like all this stuff going on outside of the show. Like apparently Kale's man was cheating on her. And then, Janelle is always having drama. So how would you guys like it if I continued doing the Teen Mom episode recaps, but also added like a little bit of like recent news to the end? And we could talk about that too. Because I do notice that my episode recaps typically get like more views than when I talk about like Teen Mom news. So I'm not sure if you guys like the recaps more. But I like talking about both, honestly. So let me know what you think down below. Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.